You wake up, and before your feet even touch the floor, your phone is already in your hand. You shower fast. You brush your teeth while scrolling. You wear the same slippers from the kitchen to the bathroom to the front door, and you never once think about it because no one taught you to. In Japan, hygiene isn't just about being clean. It's about drawing quiet lines between spaces, between tasks, between the outside world and the inside of your home. 6 habits, almost invisible to a Western eye, are what actually separate a rushed life from a settled one. You've probably never questioned a single one of them. Let's start with the one at your front door. Habit 1. Wearing outdoor shoes indoors. Picture the last time you walked in from a long day, bags in your hands, mind already 3 tasks ahead, and dropped straight onto the couch, shoes still on your feet. You didn't think twice. Most Western homes are built around convenience, not boundary, and shoes cross every threshold without ceremony. In Japan, this threshold has a name, the Genkan, a small sunken entryway that exists for exactly one purpose, to mark the line between Soto, the outside world, and Uchi, the inner sanctuary of home. Shoes stop there. Always, not as a rule about dirt, though dirt is part of it, but as a ritual that tells your nervous system you have arrived. The Western habit fails because it skips this signal entirely. You carry the street, the subway pole, the office floor, the entire outside world across your carpet and into your bed, and your body never gets the cue to actually exhale. The fix costs nothing. Place a small tray or mat by your door tonight. Every time you cross it, shoes come off, no exceptions. No, just this once. Within a week, you'll notice the strange calm of a home that feels sealed off from the noise you left behind. It's such a small piece of geography, this line by your door. But the body remembers boundaries even when the mind forgets them, and this is the first one worth drawing. Once your home has a threshold, the next question is what happens to your body once it's finally inside, and that begins in the bath, not the shower. Habit 2. Showering as the whole ritual. There's a version of getting clean that most people know only as speed. Step in, rinse, step out, towel off, already thinking about the next thing on the list. It feels efficient. It feels like enough. But in Japan, the shower was never meant to be the destination, it's the preparation. Before anyone lowers into the Ofuro, the deep soaking tub kept at home, they rinse and scrub completely clean first, standing outside the tub on a small stool, so that the bath water itself stays pure. That water is then shared, sometimes by the whole family, reheated night after night, not because anyone is lazy, but because the water was never the thing getting you clean in the first place. You were. This is where the Western habit falls short, treating the shower as the entire event collapses 2 separate acts, washing and soaking, into one rushed transaction, and rushing is the opposite of what a bath is for. A shower alone cleans the surface. It rarely touches the nervous system underneath it. The instruction is simple: separate the two, even without a soaking tub. Shower fully, with intention, to actually wash. Then, if you can, run a warm bath afterward, even 10 minutes, with no phone, no purpose beyond sitting in the heat until your shoulders drop half an inch lower than they were. That drop is the part you've been skipping. Once your body understands the difference between washing and resting, you start noticing something else in the bathroom, the strange logic of using the same towel for everything. Habit 3. One towel for everything. A single towel hangs on the back of most bathroom doors, and by the end of the day it has touched a face, a wet floor, a pair of hands after the toilet, and a spilled drop of toothpaste, all without a second thought. Nobody chose this. It just happened, the way clutter happens, through convenience stacked on convenience. In Japan, this would be almost unthinkable, rooted in a much older idea called Kegare, a sense of ritual impurity that has nothing to do with germs on a microscope slide and everything to do with keeping certain things separate from others out of respect. This is why bathroom slippers exist only for the bathroom and go nowhere else in the house. It's why a hand towel, a face towel, and a bath towel are three distinct objects, each with one job. The common habit fails without ever announcing itself. Nothing goes wrong today or this week. But the boundary between clean and used blurs a little more each time a single towel does 5 jobs at once. And blurred boundaries are exhausting in a way you can't quite name. The fix is almost embarrassingly simple. Buy 3 small towels. Label them, even just in your head face, hands, body, and let each one exist for only that purpose. Keep bathroom slippers by the bathroom door and nowhere else. You're not being precious. You're giving each act its own clean beginning. And once your objects have boundaries, the next habit worth questioning is what your mind is doing while your hands are busy. Habit 4. Multitasking through hygiene. You're brushing your teeth right now, except you're not really. You're scrolling, replying to a message, half watching something on the counter, and your teeth are just the thing your hands happen to be doing, while your attention lives somewhere else entirely. It's such a normal way to move through a morning that it barely registers as a choice. But there's a phrase in Japan, Ichigo Ichie one time, one meeting a reminder that this exact moment, this exact motion, will never happen again in quite the same way, and deserves your full presence while it's here. It comes from tea ceremony, where every gesture is done once, deliberately, without rushing toward the next one. Here's where stacking tasks actually costs you, and it has nothing to do with productivity. It trains your mind to always be somewhere else, so that even your quietest, most private moments start to feel like something to get through rather than something to actually experience. You end up clean without ever having been present for it. The instruction here isn't complicated, just uncomfortable at first. Put the phone in another room during your hygiene routine. Just this one stretch of the day. Feel the water, the brush, the towel, without narrating it to yourself and without an audience, even an imagined one. 2 minutes, fully inhabited, does something that 20 distracted minutes never will. Once you've reclaimed this time from your own attention, you'll start noticing how much stuff has been quietly competing for that same attention on your bathroom counter. Habit 5. The overcrowded counter. Open most bathroom cabinets in the West, and you'll find a small museum of good intentions, 4 half-used shampoos from 4 different eras of your life. A serum bought on impulse. 3 products promising the same result in different packaging. None of them quite finished. None of them thrown away. It doesn't feel like clutter because it's hygiene-related, and hygiene feels virtuous by default. But clutter doesn't care what category it hides in. The Japanese concept of Danshari, a blend of refusal, disposal, and separation, treats this exact scenario directly. It asks you to refuse what you don't need, discard what you don't use, and separate yourself from the attachment that keeps expired products on a shelf, just in case. This is where the habit tricks you. It mistakes having options for being prepared, when in reality, every extra bottle is a tiny, unfinished decision sitting in your peripheral vision every single morning. That's not self-care. That's low-grade static. The instruction is a 15-minute reset. Pull everything off the counter and out of the cabinet and keep only what you've used in the last month. Everything else gets donated, finished, or thrown out. No maybes. Notice how much lighter the surface looks and how much quieter your morning feels with 3 bottles instead of 12. A calm counter doesn't just look better. It stops asking anything of you. Once your space has been cleared, the very last habit is about how you treat the act of cleaning itself. Habit 6. Cleaning as a chore to escape nobody grows up loving the 15 minutes it takes to scrub a sink. And most people treat cleaning exactly like that a debt to be paid off as fast as possible so real life can resume. You rush it, resent it, and move on the moment it's technically done. But in Japanese schools, students clean their own classrooms every single day, not as punishment, but as Souji, a practice that treats cleaning as a form of mental clearing as much as physical tidying, the outer surface and the inner state understood as connected rather than separate. The idea isn't that cleaning is fun. It's that the resentment is optional, and everything you rush through on autopilot ends up feeling like a burden, while everything you do with attention, even scrubbing a sink, starts to feel like something closer to care. Here's the trap. Speed and resentment reinforce each other, turning a 2-minute task into something your mind flags as unpleasant before you've even started. The instruction is a shift in pace, not effort. Choose one small task tomorrow, wiping the mirror, cleaning the sink, and do it slower than feels necessary, paying attention to the motion itself rather than the finish line. Notice what happens in your chest when you stop treating it as an obstacle. That shift, repeated daily, is most of what separates a home that feels cared for from one that simply gets managed. And that difference is really what all 6 of these habits have been pointing toward the whole time. None of these 6 habits require a renovation, a new bathroom, or a trip to Japan. A tray by your door. 3 small towels. A phone left in another room for 2 quiet minutes. A cleared counter. A slower hand while you wipe a mirror. Each one is small enough to start tonight, and none of them ask you to become a different person, only a slightly more present one, in rooms you already walk through every single day. Try just one this week. Notice what it feels like to draw a single clean line through your routine. The rest tend to follow on their own.